I guess with longevity, we want to expand the healthy years of our lives. So, kind of piggybacking on this whole conversation, how do you increase personally? What do you do to increase your healthy years?
Oh, that's a big question that goes way beyond vitamin D.
Yeah,
I mean, people are always asking that because they're looking. I'm not saying you are, but most people are looking for, what you read about in a media headline, which is like, what's the magic bullet, right? Like,
Mm,
is there a new pill? Joe Rogan is mainlining NMN or something, right? And I caution people against that, not because therapeutic interventions are unhelpful, because they can be
hmm
great and they have been great and they have extended human lifespan, right? Just the discovery of penicillin alone
hmm
has extended the lifespan of humans within the past century or so. Um, and so it's not about, at least at this point, until we get real precise with CRISPR or something, and even then I'm skeptical, it's not about one single thing, right? And so that's why when folks say, well, how can you increase your healthy years? And David talks about this a lot in his book as well. It's an entourage effect of things, but also if you look at the healthiest long-lived populations, it's a number of things, right? It's your diet, it's quality sleep, it's movement. So we know, we're very familiar with the fact that the more you sit, the earlier you die, right? It's not even just about exercise. It's like get up and move. Um, Relationships, that's something people really don't talk about. We're in an epidemic of loneliness and isolation way before the vid, as you called it, way before that. That just made it worse. Um, we think that being connected to people through screens is enough, and it's not. So, I think it'll be very interesting to do retrospective studies in the future and look
hmm
back and say what what helped the people who were born from, I'm pulling out a number here, 1975 onward, right? What helped them live longer, if we'll live very long at all, who knows? Because the current information we're using when we're saying, oh, this population, they're over 100 years old right now. Well, it's 2022. So that means these folks were born, what, 1920? You didn't have mass application of pesticides at that point. You didn't have factory farming. You didn't have the level of pollution that we had. There were so many things that did not exist. You didn't have social media. You had people connected in communities. So I'm not saying life was so great back then, but I'm saying it was different. And so it's a bit of comparing apples and oranges. So what we can take away is what we know, which is that your diet is really, really important. Drinking clean water, sleeping enough, moving, breathing. I love James Nestor's book, Breathe. It's awesome. I think that probably has a huge impact. Meditation. So like I recommend those things to people. And sometimes I think folks are a little bit disappointed. You can see they're like crestfallen because they're like, oh, I thought there was something easy. And I'm like, well, those things are easy. They make you feel good. Like, it's not that hard. I know that in the culture that we live in does not reward slowing
mm.
down or sleeping or connection or love or any of that. So actually I should say maybe it is kind of difficult, but if you can attain those things to some degree, they're fairly rewarding and they make you feel better. So it's not like taking a spoonful of gross medicine, right?
Mm.
If that makes sense.
No,